Let some people get logged in here, and we'll get this thing started. I'm inside tonight. I don't guess there's anybody here to hear me just yet, but inside tonight. It's a little too chilly to be outside. Get logged in over here so I can see the chat, hopefully. There we go. All right, we got a couple of people joining in now. Hey, guys. Boy, everybody at once, just all of a sudden. I got to make some adjustments here. This may be a little bit crazy. But there we go. Give me a second here. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, hang on a minute, guys. Sorry. Inside this time and trying to get things all situated. There we go. Okay. I think we're good to go. Charlotte, hey there. How are you? Dakota, Giant Angoras. That's what I'm going to call you. Ramazan. Well, you weren't first, Ramazan, but you were close. Tiffany, hello. Rackdinity. That's going to be hard for me to say. Good evening to you. I'm doing well, Ramazan. How are you doing this evening? Hello to Riot Grits. That's a weird name, but I'll get it down. Quail Noob, hello. Walt, hey, glad you made it. Good to see you. Hector, good. Let's see what we got going. Oh, I got my volume going here. I need to mute that. Hang on. Volume on the computer is what I'm talking about. All right, well, I think we got it going. I should have set up for this a little bit better. Last minute decision to come inside because it's too cold outside. So you guys get to see the huge mess I have back here. My seed starting station back there, but it's become kind of a clutter thing. If you didn't know, I got married earlier this year. We've combined 2 households, so we've got junk everywhere right now. We look like a bunch of hoarders. Working on getting that all sorted out. All right, if I didn't say hi to you, then, well, hello to everybody. Got a lot of people joining in all of a sudden. Everybody's saying hi, so I'm not trying to ignore anybody, but chat goes by awful quick, and it's hard for me to kind of keep up with that sometimes. So if you haven't been to one of these live broadcasts before, I do my best to answer your guys' question and respond to the chats as they're coming up, but sometimes they just slip on past. I can't get them responded to, so if you need to repost it, that's fine. I'll do my best to answer that. So, all right, who's this? Riot Grit says, yeah, 58 James Marie XL eggs in the incubator. I'm on day 13. Well, hey, good luck with that. Those are some great eggs, and hopefully you have a good hatch rate. What are we looking at here? Peg, hello, Peg. Walt says, you got 18 days locked down on day 15. Was there a question I missed? Must have been. But I think Walt got it answered for you. So, Peg, if you asked a question and I missed it, I'm sorry about that. All right. So, how's everybody doing this evening? The chat slowed down for a second. We didn't get to talk last week, but let's see. Uh-oh, we're lagging a little bit, huh? Hopefully not too bad. I don't have anything else connected. I don't know what it could be. Anyway, anybody get anything cool for Christmas? I meant to talk about that on the last broadcast and didn't get it done. I got a new pressure cooker, electric pressure cooker. It's a Charge Smart cooker, not the Instapot, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's just you can do canning in this one where you can't do canning in the Instapot. So that was my cool Christmas gift from my wife. Walt wants to know what are James Marie XL? James Marie Farms jumbo quail. So that's what that means. Jumbo quail eggs from James Marie Farms. All right, West Tex Homestead says, just incubated some quail eggs last week. Lockdown should be on the 14th. My incubator temperature gauge isn't accurate. A lot of times incubator temperature gauges aren't accurate. That's why I always recommend that you get a couple of non-digital thermometers, like meat thermometers or something like that. Stick those in your incubator right down at egg level. Make sure you calibrate them first, so make sure they're accurate, and then you can kind of gauge your incubator how well it is keeping temperature. What am I canning? Let's see. I'm not canning much of anything right now. Well, I canned turkey stock the other day. Made a turkey for Christmas. Got my pressure cooker for Christmas. So I took the turkey carcass, made turkey stock in the pressure cooker, and then I canned it up in the pressure cooker. So that worked out pretty well. But not canning much else right now because it's wintertime. There's just nothing growing to can. All right, Peg Stokes says, I have Japanese quail eggs in the incubator. It's on day 18 and none have hatched. Do you have any advice? Give them a couple more days. If your incubator temperature is off just a little bit, sometimes it can go a little bit longer. So I'd give them up till about day 24 probably, and then see if they hatch out by that time. If they haven't hatched out by day 24, it's probably a failed hatch, unfortunately. Good luck, though. I hope it works out. If you are, well, I hope it works out. If it doesn't and you need some more advice, come back to the channel. I'll definitely do my best to give you a hand with that. Vloggle Goggles, huh? It says, I got a new milking machine for my goat. Awesome. And let's see, Diana Mallory says, a pair of Tulos goslings I won't see until April. I'm not sure what those are exactly, some kind of geese, but I'm not sure the specific kind. I'm not a geese expert, but that sounds pretty exciting. I wouldn't mind getting a couple of ducks for Christmas, honestly, but I need to build a pen out for them first. Check the temperature. Yep, check the temperature on your incubator if they haven't hatched already, but you're probably past the point of doing that right now. Just wait it out and see. All right, LLJ says, hey, Chris, how many canning jars can you fit in your electric cooker? Let's see. I haven't really done the, let's see. I did 5 pints of turkey stock in it the other day, and they fit pretty good, but that's about the max that it's going to fit is 5 jars around. If you're doing jelly jars, like half pints, then you could stack them one on top of the other and fit twice as many. But just about 5, I think, is probably what it'll fit. Not quite as much as the stovetop pressure cooker, but the nice thing about the electric one is you don't have to babysit it. So if you've used a pressure cooker before, and I use mine all the time, the stovetop one, you have to bring it up to temp, let it vent for a little while, and you have to do the same thing with the electric one. It vents for a few minutes, but then you just flip the little valve at the top over to airtight, and it's got a timer on it. You just walk away. Whereas with the stovetop one, you've got to kind of stand there, make sure the weight's jiggling at the right speed. Not going too fast, not going too slow. Kind of adjust your temperature on your stove a little bit off and on to get it leveled out just right. So that is the nice thing about an electric pressure cooker. West Tex Home says, I have a dial and a digital thermometer. Yeah, I wouldn't trust the digital thermometer. Make sure that you calibrate your dial thermometer, though. I can't stress that enough because they usually don't come out completely accurate right out of the box. Walt Lars says, what is the website for James Marie? You can probably just Google James Marie Farms, but I don't think he sells directly to the public anymore. I think he only sells to other breeders. Kansas City Quail Farms, all his bloodlines are James Marie Farms bloodlines, so you can get eggs from him. And his website, well, Kansas City Quail Farms. Look it up on Google, and it'll take you right to his website. He sponsored a video a little while back. I think it was Where to Get Quail Eggs is what I titled it. So if you go back to that one, there's a link down there. I don't think he's running the discount anymore, but he was running a discount, and that link would take you to that page if the discount was still applicable. All right, Great Falcons Creation and Fishing Adventures. Boy, that's a mouthful there. Sounds exciting, though. Let's see, you said, I got some Rosetta quails. Do you know how to tell male from female? Yeah, you need to vent sex those. If you look back in my videos, I've got one on how to sex quail. I think it's called How to Sex Quail. You should be able to find it pretty easily, and there's a way you can vent sex them. Make sure, as long as your roosters are crowing, they're in breeding mode, you should be able to vent sex them. The males will produce foam. You flip them over, they'll have a little bulge on the backside of their tail, and just push very gently, and a little bit of foam will come out. Not the end of their tail, but their vent. So that's how you tell the males from the females. Okay, Dakota wants me to cook a rabbit in a vid. I have cooked a rabbit in a video before. I did one in a stovetop pressure cooker, so I'll probably be doing some more with my electric pressure cooker. Hiram wants to know, did your rabbit give birth to bunnies? No, my rabbit did not give birth. I rebred. I had problems with my first rabbit that I bred this year. First time mom, she only had 2 babies. Both of them died. So I bred my silver fox. That was a little over a month ago, and she has not given birth, so failed birth. I'm starting to think maybe it's a problem with the buck. I'm going to try him one more time and see if that helps. Uh-oh, lagging again, huh? Well, hopefully that clears out. I don't have anything connected to my internet, so I don't know what I can do about that, unfortunately. Let's see. What do we got here? LJ says we only have had one, but it only fit 4 wide mouth jars. You know, that may be the same. It may only fit 4 wide mouth jars. You know, when I'm doing turkey stock, I'm not really canning much more than that anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And, you know, when I'm canning vegetables out of the garden, it's not a bad idea to have 2 pressure cookers going, so I can use my stovetop one and just pack it full, and then, you know, pack some other jars, put them in the electric one, and let it just run, because, again, you don't have to babysit it, so that's pretty nice. Peg says, thanks, love your channel. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. JJ Bud says, how do you lower humidity in your incubator? Reminding me to check just now. Sitting at 78%. Well, there's not really many ways you can lower your humidity. If you don't have any water in the incubator, then there's not really many ways you can. 78% is not that high, though. And really, when you want an accurate reading on humidity, you really need to do relative humidity, which is like with a wet, dry incubator or thermometer. You take the temperature of the water, you take the temperature of the air, you do some math, and it tells you what the actual humidity is. So really, 78%, I wouldn't stress about that too much. I would just let it go. I wouldn't really worry. I should get, this is Vloggle Goggles, says, I should get khaki Campbell egg or ducks for eggs. You know, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about adding some ducks, but it will probably be a little while because I've got to build some fencing. I've got to build a pen for them and, you know, a duck house for them and all that kind of stuff. But I guarantee whenever I do, you guys will see them on the channel. All right, Ethan says, I'm getting some button quails. What is a good bedding for them in the brooder box? Well, you know what I use in my brooder box most of the time is paper towels. You can use pretty much anything you want. Sand, wood chips, stay away from cedar. Any other wood chips are going to be fine. They make like newspaper bedding for animals. You can use any of that kind of stuff you want to. It's a shredded up newspaper. I would not lay newspaper straight down in the brooder box though, just regular newspaper, because it's a little bit slick and they'll have traction problems on that. And they can end up with things like splayed legs, some of those kinds of things. So hopefully that kind of answers that question. I use paper towels. I find them pretty easy to clean up, and they're only in the brooder for about 2 weeks, and then they move out to a grow-out pen. So that's what I use. It works well for me. It's a little bit of maintenance because you got to change them out, especially after about the first 4 days. You got to change them out about every other day or every day because they get pretty filthy. But you're going to be dealing with that with any kind of bedding that you use, really. Excuse me. Okay, Vloggle Goggle says, Ethan Vernick used rabbit bedding. It's softer for them. Well, you can use that too. That would work. I want to save money. Says, I have some guineas. I would not mind sending you. Just think of them as large quail. Yeah, well, I got neighbors, unfortunately, so I'm not adding any guineas. Guineas are notoriously bad for neighbors. They can be pretty noisy, and I live right in the middle of town, so, you know, adding anything that's really noisy is kind of out of the question. But, hey, I appreciate the offer. All right, T says, Slightly Rednecked, hi there. I just started watching you 2 weeks ago. Your great advice. Question my incubation day 18 chicken eggs, and started off by watching your videos. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate that. I'm glad you found the videos helpful. I'm not sure if you have a question or if you started watching because you had a question about incubation. Either way, if you have a specific question, let me know. I'll do my best to answer that for you. Somebody's saying cat food works. I'm not sure what question you're answering, but hopefully not the bedding question. You don't want to put quail bedded on cat food. That would be, I guess it would work. I mean, you're talking dry cat food, I'm assuming. That might work. Who knows? All right, Socko says, left some, is that Socko or Sock Owl? Sock Owl? Maybe? I don't know. Left some rabbit hides and feet in a bucket of water and borax for a month on accident. Think they're salvageable. Well, it depends on what you did with them beforehand. Take them out and see if there's something dead. They're no good. Throw them away. That's my best advice to you. But, I don't know. Whenever you do rabbit feet, you want to soak them in alcohol first. That kind of kills the bacteria. Then you put them in the borax solution for a while, and they can stay in there for a long time. It's no big deal. But if you didn't soak them in alcohol first, that may not have killed the bacteria, so therefore you may have problems. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sorry about the lagging, guys. I can't fix it, unfortunately. Hopefully it's not too bad. But don't use shavings. Chris, are you under the weather? No, actually, I feel pretty good. It's dry right now. It's winter time. I don't feel bad, but just the dry winter air it dries my skin out. Sometimes kinds of affects me a little bit. So if I sound a little bit off, more than likely if I sound a little bit off, it's because I'm inside and we got this echoey room. I don't have any kind of soundproofing in here, so that's probably the problem. 6 count fish. Any suggestions for cookbooks for quail or rabbit? Do you plan on making one? I hadn't thought about making a cookbook. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll put one together and put it up on my website. I haven't really done much with my website for a long time. It's just pretty much just sitting there doing nothing. So might as well put it to use. Maybe I will at some point. I don't know of a good cookbook for quail or rabbit. Really, what you can do most of the time is, especially for rabbit, is just look up any kind of chicken recipe and substitute rabbit for chicken. So any kind of chicken cookbook, rabbit's probably going to do pretty good in its place. But who knows? Maybe I'll put something together for you guys. All right, what else? T says, I have trouble keeping humidity level high enough to 60 to 80%. I live in California. Humidity is low here. Yeah, humidity, especially in the wintertime here, is really low, and it's hard to keep humidity up. Remember, the humidity is controlled by surface area, not volume of water. So, you put a tall, skinny cup in the incubator, that's not going to raise your humidity as much as if you had a long, shallow tray of water. Hopefully that makes sense. So things like soaked sponges, just soak a sponge, put it in your incubator. That can really help because it's a lot of surface area, all the little pores and all that kind of stuff. But you're going to have to switch it out about every day in order to keep the humidity fine. All right, I'm losing track. We got people talking to different people, and I missed the comments the first time, so what are we at? What's my favorite types of quail? Really, I like the jumbo browns, the jumbo pharaohs, or the jumbo meat makers. They're about the same bird, honestly. And I like them mostly because you can easily feather sex them. So you can look right at them, and you can tell that's a male, that's a female, just by the color of their breast. That's what I like best about them. But other than that, any of them are about the same. So Riot Grit says, you're from Georgia. Want to know where everybody else is from? I am from Southwest Missouri. I don't know where everybody else is from. Riot Grit says, I've never watched the live broadcast before. Does it usually take this long to get started? I'm not sure what you mean by take this long to get started. I try to get it going about 7 o'clock, and then I just kind of let the comments drive the video itself. Do my best to answer the comments in the chat that come in, respond to those. I don't really have necessarily a specific topic that I'm going over in here. I don't know what you mean exactly by taking a long time to get going. Usually go for pretty close to an hour. It just depends on how long the conversation goes in the chats. But that's pretty much what it is. It's just let the chat drive the video. I respond to the comments in the chat the best I can. That's really about all it is. All right. T's asking about a special sponge, asking Walt about it. I think he's already responded to that, so he's got a good advice on that. No kind of special sponge. Just get a cheap sponge, but yeah, stay away from the ones with chemicals on them, of course. Any of the you don't want to use a magic eraser or any of that kind of stuff. Just a regular old cheap sponge. I want to save money. Says I got a line on some breast chickens, breast chickens. If you want to be interested in, they say they are the best in the world. I've never heard of those. What are they? Breese? Is that how you pronounce that? B-R-E-S-S-E? Not familiar with those at all. Don't think I'm going to be adding chickens anytime soon, but you never know. I may. Diana says, keep the humidity. Oh, yeah. Talking to T says, keep the humidity high and leave the lid closed until most have hatched. Yeah, that's pretty much true. Realize the humidity will spike a little bit as they start hatching anyway, just naturally. Giant Angora says, you have a website. Yeah, I do, slightlyrednecked.com. But again, there's not much there. I started it off kind of planning on doing like a vlog or a blog kind of thing there. But I quickly realized I'm not much of a writer. I'm more of a talker. So it's really old posts on there. Not much at all there. You can go check it out if you want to. which do you feel you get more money of, quail or rabbits? I'm not sure what you mean by I get more money of. I don't really sell. I do sell some quail from time to time. Pretty much every hatch I sell a little bit of quail, and it helps kind of pay for the quail food. I don't sell any rabbits, and around here the market's not great for rabbits. There's just too many of them. They're too easy to come by. So hopefully that answers that question. All right, Questy says, Happy New Year, everyone, from Trinidad and Tobago. Well, Happy New Year to you, too. Pablo wants to know, or tell me I should do an aviary. I might do an aviary, but I don't know. My cages are working out pretty well for me. I don't want to go through the extra work. I mean, I'd have to build a pretty good-sized aviary, but who knows? Maybe someday I will. T wants to know if quail will fly away. I mean, if you leave them outside all the time and no cage, no pen, yeah, they're going to fly away, or more like walk away, probably. They don't really fly too well. Not Coturnix quail, anyway, not the Japanese quail that we're talking about. They don't fly very well. They're a domesticated bird. They're a little bit on the heavy side. I think Walt said the same thing. Domestic quails are too fat to fly any distance. That's pretty much what it comes down to. They can fly a little ways, and pretty much what they do is they jump really high in the air and then a controlled descent to the ground. The next jump is a little bit lower. The next jump's a little bit lower. And then about the third, fourth time, they're out raising tilapia, mostly because, well, there's a couple of reasons. One, you would have to heat the water. They can't survive the winters here. They're a warm water fish. But most importantly, I don't like tilapia. In my opinion, they're just trash fish. They don't taste good. There's not really any nutritional value to them very much. They're just, I just don't care for tilapia much. So that's why I don't raise tilapia. Tiffany Dime says, question, my doe's on her 31st day, still no babies. How long should I wait for the babies till I breed her again? I would give her till about day 36 just to be on the safe side, make sure it wasn't an error in calculation. And who knows, some does go a little bit long. But after about day 36, then you should be good. LLJ says, New York. One area north of here will be negative 49 with wind chill tonight. Georgia sounds good right now. Yeah, we've had negative wind chills for a while now, so I can relate to that. Not negative 49, but negative. PC Lockhart says, you should definitely do a cookbook. You could sell them and would be a great reward on your Patreon. You know, it would be. I actually kind of dropped the Patreon thing, though. I had two people sign up for that. So if you've signed up and you're not seeing anything going on there, I just didn't feel right really pushing Patreon too much with only one or two people on there, and it didn't seem like I could really deliver well on there. So I mean, it's still there, but I haven't done anything with it for a while. But hey, who knows? Maybe I'll put some cookbooks together, maybe offer them for a few bucks, or maybe just give them away. Who knows? I want to say Money says the Facebook page would like that also, the cookbook idea. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll put some cookbooks together. My cousin is a fantastic cook. He actually manages a local restaurant here. So I could get him involved in that. He could come up with some great recipes for us, I'm sure. Great Falcons Creations. I'm going to stop right there and not say the whole name. What's a common price on getting some farrow or cinnamon quail, 6 to 7 weeks old? Around here, 6 to 7 weeks old, birds go for about $5 a piece. Farrow's pretty common, pretty easy to come by. Cinnamon, a little bit tougher, a little bit trickier. But you're looking at about $5 a piece probably around here. I don't know what they would go for in your area. Look them up on Craigslist. See if you can find anybody that's got any. That would be my best advice for that. West Tech says I should get Muscovy ducks if I get ducks because they're quiet. I've thought about getting Muscovy ducks. They're a little bit different than the other ducks, too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Muscovies are the only native duck to the, native wild duck. To the Americans. Other ducks were all imported and brought in, and they are completely different than any other duck. They've got not talons, but feet they can grip with, so they'll perch, whereas other ducks don't. Oh, Giant Angora, you're leaving. Well, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Peg Stokes, do you have any other animals than rabbits and quail? Well, I have a dog. I have a puppy. He's about 6 months old right now, but other than that, no. No other animals at the moment. I've kept all kinds of animals in the past, but right now, just the rabbits, just the quail. What else? I want to save money as a homo. What part of Oklahoma are you in? You know, we're in Southwest Missouri, so it's just, in fact, my wife is from Oklahoma and works in Oklahoma still, but probably the other side of the state from you, who knows. Walt Lars says, get an instant read meat thermometer from Kitchen Supply. They are very accurate and under $10. Well, that might work. I have not had good luck with digital thermometers myself, being incredibly accurate. But hey, who knows? I may be wrong on that one. I don't know what's going on with the lag, guys. I'm sorry about that. I wish I could fix that. I'd speed it up if I could. T says, will you do any jerky, cured meats, pickling videos? Slightly Rednecks do that. LOL, just kidding. You know, I have done some pickling videos. I've got a video on how to make pickles. You can pickle cucumbers or zucchini or, you know, pretty much anything you want like that. But I use it for cucumbers and zucchini. I do a slightly different recipe whenever I'm making jalapenos or pickling jalapenos. But I do have a video on how to pickle that stuff. I haven't done any videos on jerky or cured meats. I don't do a lot of jerky or cured meats, but I do have a dehydrator. I have done it before, so if I do, I'll shoot some video on it. Crystal says, have you ever had a problem with baby rabbits getting out of the nest box in the winter and freezing? I have problems with them getting out of the nest box. Not really problems, but around 10 days old, they tend to want to get out of the nest box and then have a hard time getting back in it. So I do kind of, for that couple of days, usually I'll have to kind of keep an eye on them, and as they're all out, I'll pick them back up and put them back in the nest box in the evening time before I go to bed. But I've never had one freeze at that point because they've got all their full fur at that point, and they're usually doing pretty good. I just throw them back in the nest box in the evening. That usually only lasts for about a day or two, and then they're big enough where they can get in and out of the nest box on their own, and it's no problem. All right, Walt says Muscovy ducks don't lay that many eggs. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, but I don't need that many eggs, so who knows? PC Lockhart says, you're from Georgia. Got to go now. It was great seeing you live. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. And Great Falcon says, thank you for your answer. I really do appreciate your channel. Also, thank you for sharing. When I start making videos again, I'm going to share information about my quails like you do. Thanks again. Well, hey, thank you so much for the kind comments. I'm glad that you found my video helpful. And hey, good luck on whenever you start sharing some videos on your channel. Hope it goes well. Curtis So says, thanks for the quail we got from you. WW had 14 out of 21 eggs hatched from the first set of quails. Thanks for the info. Curtis, were you the guy that just bought some quail from me a couple of weeks ago? Well, about a month ago, I guess it probably was. If so, hey, I'm glad they're out. 14 out of 21 eggs hatched from the first set of quail. That's great. Glad it worked, and good hatch rate. What else we got here? Muscovy ducks hatch a lot of ducklings, great mothers. They aren't a layer breed. Yeah, I've heard that about Muscovies too. They do a good job of hatching their own young, but they don't lay a whole ton of eggs either. LLJ says, have you heard of insulated rabbit boxes? I'm thinking of making one for next winter. We'll need to rabbit proof it. Just wondering if they have any out there. You know, I've never heard of insulated nest boxes. I just stuff them with straw, and that's as much insulation as they need, really. It works just fine. One thing I will caution you about is you don't want to get a nest box that's all closed off on the top. Moisture in the wintertime is bad, and if you close the top off, then you're going to end up with moisture inside the nest box. It's not going to be able to evaporate as easily, and you're probably going to end up with some problems there. So I would go with an open top one. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, West Tex Homestead says Muscovy meat has been compared to beef. You know, I've heard Muscovy is fantastic. I have not eaten it yet. I had a guy that had some Muscovy ducks that were just going crazy with laying eggs, hatching them out, had all kinds of them. He was going to give me a couple for free, but it never worked out to where we could get them. All right, Sierra Date says, I have seen built-in drop boxes for rabbit nest boxes. Have you ever tried them before? Or is there any reason that you prefer the kind that you use? You know, I've seen the built-in nest boxes that hang down below the cage, and those are kind of cool. I've never tried them. There's no reason that I haven't tried them. It's just easy enough for me to just stuff the box with straw and stick it in the cage a couple of days before she's going to have babies, and that's the only reason I use the one I use. It just works out pretty well. Uh-oh, getting a text message. Let me make sure it's not urgent or important. Nope, it's not. It can wait. What do we got? Is it 4 or 5 quail eggs equals 1 chicken egg? I keep getting both answers. You know, it depends. I mean, not all chicken eggs are the same size. Not all quail eggs are the same size. I usually go with about 5 and consider that to be 1 egg. That's my bet. I mean, I go with like a dozen eggs. Well, about 4 actually is usually with my jumbo farrows. They lay pretty good size eggs for quail, and usually about 4 of those. You know, about a dozen is what I consider to be about 3 eggs for an omelet. It works out about the same. So 4 to 5, 4.5 maybe you would call it. I don't know. It's hard to exactly say. All right, Franklin says, in addition to the home livestock raising, have you ever tried doing homebrew beer or wine? No, I've never tried to brew beer or wine. I'm not a heavy drinker. I mean, we don't go through that much beer or wine. I don't ever drink wine really. And I do have some knowledge of how that stuff is made. I mean, I get the basic ideas and the concepts, but it's never been something that I've really been into. Who knows? Maybe I'll make some at some point. What else we got here? Indian runners lay a lot of eggs and they can't fly, so you don't have to worry about clipping their wings. You know, that's a good point, Curtis. You know, I may get, like I said, get some ducks at some point in the future, and Indian runners would be one of those that I would think about. Wouldn't have to build a very high fence for them, and don't have to worry about them flying away. Slightly rednecked. Oh, this is a T saying, being a famous YouTuber now, what's your thoughts on Logan Paul? Who's Logan Paul? I'm not sure who Logan Paul is. I'm not really a famous YouTuber either, but thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you think so. I'm not sure who Logan Paul is, though. So you're going to have to fill me in on that. West Tech says, can't keep loud ducks around close neighbors, though. So, you know, especially in the city. Yeah, I can't get something that's incredibly loud. And I wouldn't go overboard on the ducks. I just have a couple of them. I think it would be okay where I'm at. I don't have any neighbors directly behind me. I've got neighbors on both sides, but they're pretty easy going. I mean, heck, one neighbor has 3 goats, so she wouldn't care at all. I know. The other neighbors, I don't think would be a problem for them, especially if I shared some eggs from time to time. I have got something in my eye. Don't know how that happened, but anyway, who knows? I'll definitely try to keep down on the loud ducks, keep them away. I want to say Money says, have a good one. I have to go. Thanks for all the great vids. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you got time to join the video and participate a little bit. I appreciate it. JJ Bud says, ever consider crickets or raising your own food to feed your quail? You know, I've looked into it, but it's really too much work for me. You know, I don't want to have a box full of crickets in my house, and you know, they wouldn't live outside, and just a little bit of effort. I'm not even sure feeding crickets to my quail would be a little bit tricky unless I kind of killed them all first and then threw them in there, because they just fall through the cage before the quail could eat them. I do get black soldier fly larvae I did last year anyway, under my quail hutches. So that was pretty easy. I just, you know, got some of those out of there and threw them in there, and the quail had a fun time trying to eat those. They threw more of them out of the cage, I think, than they ate, but still, that's free food. But as far as raising it, no, that's a little too much work for me. It just works out easier for me to just buy the food. I still have enough quail that I pretty much pay for my quail food, pretty close to it anyway. But other than that, I don't look at raising it. What else we got? I'm lucky. Wish I could keep a goat. Well, you can't keep a goat. You got to keep 2 or 3 goats. Goats are community animals. They can't be kept just singular. They're going to cry on them if they do. So you always make sure you have at least 2. These are little goats. I mean, they're probably like 80 pounds, but they're only like 3 feet tall, something like that. Not very big. So they're you know, they don't bother me at all. They're way less annoying than the neighbor's dog down the road that barks all night long. And they come right over the fence when you go out there. They're just friendly as can be. So yeah, who knows? Maybe you can get a goat someday, or a couple. Tracy says, hi, I almost missed the broadcast tonight. Well, hey, thanks for joining. I'm glad you made it. All right, Franklin says, Logan Paul, he recently posted a video. We went to Japan's Fuji Forest. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I heard about that on the news. I didn't hear, you know, I didn't pay much attention to it because it doesn't affect me directly. But from what I heard of it, yeah, he posted somebody had committed suicide, and he posted that video on his YouTube channel and monetized it. Just horrible, horrible. Not a very poor judgment on his case. Not good at all, in my opinion. There's enough filth and garbage out there on the internet that you don't need to participate in that kind of stuff. That's my opinion on it. I don't know him personally, don't know his channel, have never watched any of his videos, so I can't speak to if that's his character normally or not. Don't know. But that's pretty much all I got to say about that, I think. West Tech says mealworms or maggots. I've got a video. Oh, you're talking about raising your own food, raising mealworms or maggots. There's a lot of ways you could do that, but it's just a little bit more work than it's worth for me, so I'm probably not going to do that, raising food for my quail. Who knows? Maybe someday. Ragrit says, hey, dude, love your channel. I'm about to hatch 58 JM jumbo eggs on Sunday. You've been a huge inspiration. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you find the videos helpful, and good luck on your hatch. West Tech says a maggot bucket. Yeah, you could do that. I'm not so sure that the neighbors would really enjoy the maggot bucket hanging in my backyard, but hey, who knows? Six Cow Family says, darn, mine froze. I'm not sure what froze. I'm losing track. Okay. Anyway, Danny Richard says, you always mention gardening in your intro. Do you still do gardening videos? I've done a few. Granted, I have not done a ton of gardening videos, but if you go back to my channel, there is a in the garden section, and you can go down through and see all the videos. I've got a seed starting course that I posted, a lot of different little things that I've done with gardening. I'll do some more probably coming in the spring. I might do one right now, next week, because, talk about what do you do with your garden in the wintertime. Yes, I plan on doing some additional gardening videos. The thing with me is gardening's not that complex. There's not that many topics to talk about, in my opinion. I think people make gardening a lot harder than it has to be. But hey, that's just my opinion, and I'll try to get out there and shoot some more gardening videos for you guys. Siri says, LOL, we let the kids hunt crickets and feed them to the quail just for fun. I'm also looking into mealworms and other more natural options. Would love any input. There's no problem with that. Yeah, if you got kids that want to go hunt crickets and feed them to your quail, heck yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, as far as raising mealworms is pretty simple. Just do a Google search for how to raise mealworms and you'll find it. It's pretty easy. The thing I don't like about it is that, you're going to have to keep them warm, so that means you're going to have to keep them in your house or in a heated building or something. I don't have a heated building, so that would be in my house. And crickets, they don't smell good. In my opinion, they kind of smell bad. Now, when I was single, living by myself, that may not have been an issue, but I've got a family now. I've got a wife and to think about, and I'm not going to bring stinky crickets into the house. That's just my opinion. Oh, Six Cow Family, you said yours froze. That may have been the video that froze is what you meant. Well, welcome back. Glad you made it. Oh, JJ Bud says mealworms look just like quail toes, and quails are kind of dumb. LOL. That's true, especially the baby ones. You'll notice in the brooder box, sometimes they'll go after the other quail's feet, thinking that it's some kind of bug or something like that. You can cause problems feeding mealworms to your quail, getting them to pick at the other one's toes. I don't know how big of an issue that's going to be when they're adult quail, but when they're babies, for sure, it can be an issue. Bradley Cameron wants to know how many quail I have. Right now, I think I have somewhere around 40. I'm not real sure. I haven't counted them up recently. I do have some roosters that I need to butcher that are just, they're all in a pen by themselves. And honestly, it's just because I've been kind of lazy that I haven't butchered them. But also because I just haven't had time to worry about cooking them. So I like to butcher them and then just cook them right away before I freeze them. Because usually I just do a handful. And it's easy enough to keep them that way and not have to worry about keeping them in the freezer and thawing them out when I want to cook them and all that kind of stuff. Six Count Family wants to know, am I using any specific sand for the quail? No, I just go and get regular old builder sand from, whatever the big box store is, Lowe's, Home Depot, any of those. It's cheap. I can get a whole big bag of it for like $5 or $6 at the most. And it works pretty well. It's just regular old builder sand. Quail Noob says, do you still have your silver quails? Yeah, I have a whole hutch full of silver quail. When it gets to be spring, they've kind of slowed down on the laying right now because the days are so short. It's not charging my lights up enough to keep them running all night long. But that'll start picking up. The days are starting to get a little bit longer. So they when they start laying again, I'll be starting to incubate those again. Hopefully, build that flock up a little bit more. Where are we at here? Lynn says, "Cheers, mate. Like your videos." I think that's probably English for hello. I see cheers all the time. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but hey, thank you so much. I'm glad you like the videos, and thanks. So cheers to you too. Hopefully I'm using that right. Remember, I'm rednecked. I'm not from England, so I get all kinds of confused on that stuff sometimes. Franklin says, fowl or poultry, which do you find tastes better? Fowl or poultry? What's the difference between fowl and poultry again? Is fowl wild birds, poultry's like chickens and things? It's a matter of taste. I like chicken a lot, but I also like quail. Quail's more of a dark meat. It has a little bit more flavor to it, but it can be a little bit of an acquired taste. If you're not used to that, it can be a little bit offsetting. It's almost like liver in a way. Kind of has a livery kind of minerally kind of flavor to it. It's not nearly that strong. So it just depends on the day. I like one better than the other some days, and one better than the other days. T wants to know, what kind of mic do you have? Right now I don't have a mic. I'm just using the iPad to film this and letting the iPad mic handle it. Hopefully the sound's okay. It's not too bad. Usually whenever I shoot video, let's see, do I have my... I'm not sure. Here it is, right here. Usually when I shoot video, this is what I use. Oh, that's not my mic, though. Where did my mic go? There we go. I use this this little digital voice recorder. I just stick it in my pocket. I have, this is a Sony lavalier mic. Clip it on me. It hooks into this. And then I sync the audio with the video a little bit later. So that's how I usually shoot most of my videos. Where are we at here? How are the blue egg layers working out? Well, yeah, I still have several blue egg layers. Some of them are silver, some of them are pharaohs. I don't know which ones are laying the blue eggs. I just find blue eggs in there, and I don't know which birds they're coming from. They don't look any different. So, but they're working out just fine. Some of them are, I hatched some out in the last batch. Again, I don't know if any of those laid blue eggs or not. Whoever I sold quail to, who was in here earlier, can't remember the name, Curtis, I think. I don't know if he got any selling on egg layers, the blue egg layers, or not. Sold some adult female quail to him, but I don't know if they were laying blue eggs or not. Like I said, you can't tell just by looking at the bird. All right, I'm trying to find a good quail tractor design. Any thoughts? Let's see, quail tractors. You could do it any number of ways. I would do, probably if it was me, what I would do is just kind of a triangle, build with wire around it, the side that opens up on the top, and then you can just drag that around. It doesn't have to be very tall, just 12, 13 inches tall would be plenty fine for the birds. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but look at like maybe chicken tractor designs and then just shrink it down a little bit, and I think that would probably be a good fit for quail. Giant Angoras is back and says, you didn't know if anyone mentioned it, but Happy New Year. Well, hey, Happy New Year to you too. A few people have said that. Hopefully it's been a good New Year for everybody so far. I'm just still working on getting down writing 2018 instead of 2017, but I'm getting there. Yeah, Walt says the same thing. Just scale down chicken tractor plans. That's what I would do. Launchpad skills. When are my quails going to lay eggs naturally without light, etc.? Well, they'll lay eggs in the summertime. If you don't add any extra light, they're going to wait till the days get up to at least 12, probably more like 14 hours a day. So you're looking at probably, depending on where you live, that's going to be like April, late April, May, somewhere right around in there before they start laying eggs. That would be my guess. Walt wants to know, have you made wassail? Is that called, that's wassail, isn't it, I think? No, I have not made wassail. I've only actually had it one time when I lived in Texas. They had it down there. I'd never even heard of it before then. But no, I've never made it. Tracy Hedford says, yay, I'm not the only person who has lazy days. Oh, no, I get plenty of lazy days, trust me. The older I get, the more lazy I get, too. Walt Lars says, quail stock. I don't know what that, is that a reference to something, or you're just saying I've never made quail stock either. To me, that you just have to get a whole bunch of them together to make it worth it. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. STW Noob King says, "Is chicken feet good?" I don't know. I've never eaten chicken feet. Seems a little odd to me, but hey, try them out and let me know. What Launchpad Skills says, "What is so special about megalodon eggs?" I think that's probably an autocorrect. I don't think you meant megalodon eggs. But oh, cheers means thanks. Tracy clarified that for me. Okay, cheers to you then. Thank you for the kind comments. Thank you. Back to Launchpad Skills. I think you're talking about the celadon eggs, the blue eggs. Nothing really special about them. They're just blue eggs. Some birds have that trait, and they just lay a blue egg. I mean, it's just like any other egg. It's just a blue shell. All right. Where else we at? It's 3 a.m. in the Netherlands. Well, good grief, you're up late. Well, thanks for staying up late and joining. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but my wife just came home, and my dog's meeting her at the back door, banging his tail against the door to this room. Curtis says, "No, we haven't gotten any blue eggs from them yet." Well, hey, you never know. Maybe if you haven't gotten any yet and they've all started laying, you probably don't have any, because those celadon eggs layers, they lay a blue egg every single time. Sorry about that. I was hoping you would get a few in there, but who knows? Maybe they may carry recessive traits for it, so you may get some celadon layers in the offspring. Who knows? Do you eat raw eggs for the supposed multiple health benefits of quail eggs? No, I don't really eat raw eggs. I'm not against it. It's just I don't really worry about it too much. And if you guys don't know what he's talking about, this is JJ Bud saying this. I did a video a while back, quite a while back actually, about quail eggs being used to cure different diseases and illnesses. And there's a lot of evidence that they actually are pretty effective in curing a lot of different things, or at least treating a lot of different things. But you do have to eat them raw in order to get those benefits out of them. I don't personally eat them raw. I don't have any kind of illnesses or anything like that I need cured. But I tend to undercook my eggs, cook them a little bit on the, would it be rare side, I guess. Instead of, I don't like eggs when they're overcooked or heavily cooked. So I do stick with kind of cooking them a little bit on the rare side, I guess that would be. LJ says, "I have a poultry allergy. That's one of the reasons I started raising rabbits for lean meat. I'll have to Google the difference between fowl and poultry now." Yeah, I don't blame you. A poultry allergy, good grief, that's got to be terrible. Like, you're allergic to the actual meat or just the animals themselves? Because good grief, being allergic to the meat would be terrible. What Giant Angora wants to know, what's the most time you stayed up? I don't think that's for me, but if it is for me, heck, I don't know. The longest I've ever stayed up, 18, 19 hours probably, but that was a long time ago. Frank Lean says, "I don't seem that old. I'm guessing early 30s at most." No, I'm much older than early 30s. Let's see. Next month I will be 44 next month. I had to think about that for a minute. As you get older, you kind of forget how old you are. Sometimes I think I'm already 44. Sometimes I think I'm 42. I can't remember, but I was born in 74. I'll be 44 next month. Making quail stock from leftover quail carcasses. Yeah, I know how to make stock. I do that with chickens and with turkey all the time. I've never done it with quail though. I don't know if I don't know if it's worth it or not. It just seems like you'd have to have a whole bunch of them together to make it worth it, and I don't know how much stock you'd actually get out of that. But hey, I'm not against trying it. Bradley says he has 11 quail. Nice. T says, "Thanks, May. Good luck with your channel, and thanks for your helpful videos. Good night, and bye-bye." Well, hey, good night to you, and thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And he's thanking everybody else in the chat for advice, and I want to thank you guys for that, too. Yeah, I noticed that in the Facebook group. I noticed that in the chat, in the comments sometimes. You guys do a great job of helping answer other people's questions, and I appreciate that. I think it's great to have that. I appreciate you guys all following me, following my channel, listening to my advice, finding it helpful. But I like it just as much to see everybody else jumping in and answering questions for people and helping them out as well. That's what it's really all about, is us helping each other out. It's not about me. So it's about us. And I appreciate you guys doing that. So thank you so much. Tracy Hedford says, I plan to use the raw eggs in smoothies for my son. He has eczema. You know, I just complained about dry air and dry skin. I may start doing that and try it out just for my dry skin. I don't know if I'd call it eczema, but in the wintertime, good grief, it's dry, and my skin really dries out. Cora K says, what is your lockdown temp for hatching quail? The temp for hatching quail is the same all the time, about 99 degrees if you're using a forced air incubator, about a 101 if you're using a still egg incubator, or a still air incubator, excuse me, with no fan in it. But it's the same, whether you're incubating chicken, quail, duck, it's always the same temperature, 99 degrees, actually about 99.5 if you can get that picky with it, all the time, from the time they start to the time they hatch. Walt, it's your birthday today. Well, happy birthday, buddy. It's 62, huh? Oh, you're a little bit older than me. Got a little bit more experience than me, so no wonder you're so good at answering all the questions and helping people out. Happy birthday to you. I wish I had a gift to send, but I don't. But hey, it's the thought that counts, right? Andrew Badcock says, hello, Chris. Finally made it to a live show. It's been a while. Hey, it has been a while, but thanks for coming back by. I appreciate that. And Launchpad Skills says, is there any possible way that Japanese quail can brood naturally? If I can explain it. Yes, they will. I mean, occasionally you'll see one that goes broody. It's very, very rare. And when they do go broody, they usually don't do a very good job of hatching out very many. They don't have very good hatch rates. But it is possible. It has happened. Some people have had success with it. Michael Therian says, I stayed up 39 hours once. Was that on purpose? Good grief, 39 hours. Interesting topic while we're talking about staying up late and all those kinds of things. You can die from a lack of sleep, and you actually can die from a lack of sleep quicker than you can die from a lack of food or a lack of water. Isn't that crazy to think you can die from a lack of sleep? Tracy Hedford says, I was going to tell you last week I got 7 kits, my first time breeding rabbits. Well, hey, congratulations. That sounds like a pretty good kindling. Usually I get somewhere around 10 most litters, but anything over 10 I usually lose a few anyway, so 7's pretty good though. I wouldn't complain about that at all. Congratulations on a successful kindling. Frank Lean says, my 26 is in a couple of weeks. I'm freaking out. What are you freaking out about? Nothing to worry about getting older. The alternative is you're going to die. And so, I mean, could be worse. Don't freak out about a birthday. It means you're getting older. You're getting wiser, hopefully. Cora K says, okay, thanks. I make a raw dog food and use my raw quail eggs, including the shells, for their food. Yeah, occasionally I toss eggs to my dog. He loves them. I don't even crack them. I just hand him the egg, and he eats the whole thing. He loves them. LJ says, I'm not able to eat poultry. Turkeys give more reaction than chickens. So my grandmother made grilled cheese for me every Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, that's got to be terrible. I just love turkey at Thanksgiving. I can't imagine not being able to eat it. That's horrible. I feel so bad for you. I don't know, could you get away with eating quail maybe? That might be an alternative for you. It's not really like chicken or turkey, but it is a different meat anyway, and it's a lot more flavorful than rabbit meat. Although rabbit meat does pretty good if you put other things with it. It does take on the flavor of other things. But hey, that's a thought. Hey, Allie Mae's back. Hey, Allie, how are you? It says, is it cold where you are? Is that why you're inside? Tuning in a bit late. Well, I think you mean, is it cold? I wish it was cold here, but no, it's cold. Yeah, it's pretty cold out. I think it's like 22 degrees out right now, Fahrenheit. Which I could handle, but why? I've got an indoor place I can do it. Just get to show you guys the big mess behind me that I've got in my house. Oh well. Andrew Badcock says, my dog eats 3 quail eggs each day, shell and all, and it helps with her dry skin. It does. I feed my dog eggs occasionally, not necessarily 3 a day, but I feed him eggs occasionally. And it does seem to help a little bit. Walt says, I was up for 54 hours fighting a brush fire for National Guard. Medics gave me an energy drink. I dozed off for a few minutes. I was running a bulldozer. Oh my goodness, 54 hours straight. I'm guessing that probably was probably about the worst time of your life. I can't imagine going 54 hours with no sleep. Allie Mae says, have you ever thought about raising pigeons instead? No, I haven't. I have looked at pigeons quite a bit and thought, you know, they look like doves. I bet they'd taste pretty good. But I've never actually eaten a pigeon, so who knows? I hear they're pretty good. In some parts of the world, they're delicacies, or you know, really common anyway. I've just never tried them myself. Launchpad Skill says, I'm jealous. He is giving 3 eggs to his dog. I didn't ever had one waiting for them to. I'm not sure what you're saying, Launchpad Skills. I'm losing it. Jealous of him giving 3 eggs to his dog for some reason. Where we at? I'm losing track here. LJ says, then learned the meaning of cross-contamination and never had to eat anything I didn't like after that. What's that? That's in talking about eating your grilled cheese. You learn the meaning of cross-contamination and never had to eat anything that you didn't like after that. Well, I can imagine that would do it. Boris says, hi, Chris, inside cam, good choice. You guys like this better, being inside? Is the sound better? I always thought the sound was way better outside, but you guys let me know. LJ says, funny story is after my dad had to take me to the ER for a shot, I developed allergies to peas and liverwurst sandwiches. Allergies, huh? I can bet. I can go with the liverwurst. Yeah, I don't care for liverwurst at all. Peas I do like though. JJ Bud says, quail eggs faded in color. What's up with that? That has to do with the pigment in the eggs being depleted by the bird because they're not getting enough iodine in it. No, I'm kidding. I'm just making that up. It's just, quail eggs do that sometimes. It's nothing to worry about. You get faded color. Sometimes you get all white eggs. Sometimes you get ones that look real dull. It's really nothing. It can be, if you're feeding like a whole bunch of extra calcium to your birds, you'll get kind of rough eggs occasionally where they're depositing the extra calcium on the eggs. But it's nothing to worry about. Tracy says, I've been thinking about adding pigeons, but they need a lot of room. My dad used to raise them for racing. You know, I've known a lot of people that have raised pigeons before. And yeah, they do need a little bit more room. But yeah, if you want to add them to it, why not? Do it. Franklin says, squab is delicious, plus pigeon is classified as a pest in most cities, so no need for a hunting license. You know, you're absolutely right about that. It is a pest in most cities, so you can kill them in town and nobody's going to complain about it. And I've heard it's good. I can't imagine it'd be that much different than quail or dove. I mean, they look like a dove. They walk like a dove. They act like a dove. They're very similar. I imagine they'd be very similar in flavor. Walt says you slept for 32 hours afterwards on the ground next to the dozer. I imagine you sleep just about anywhere after being up for 54 hours straight. Rabbit Scheme, hi. Tracy Headford says, yep, better sound, but a bit of buffering issues for me. I don't think that has anything to do with me being inside. It's probably my internet connection. I have a cable connection, so there's probably like somebody in the neighborhood doing something that's causing my internet to be slowed down a little bit tonight. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm drying out. Can't talk. All right, where else? Where are we at on time? Ooh, almost at an hour. I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty quick, but all right, sounds a bit better in here. My quails are cuddling a lot. Are they freezing, and do I have to do something? Yeah, I don't do anything. I mean, it's been down in the negative temperatures, or down close to negative 1 degree the other morning when I got up. The quail are just fine. I don't do anything extra for them. Let them huddle together for warmth if they want to. That's fine. It's nothing really you have to worry about too much. They should be okay. Rabbit Scheme says, I have a question. I bred my rabbit and had one successful fall off, but she didn't give birth. Try again. That's my best suggestion for that. I always try to get at least 2, maybe 3 fall offs to make sure. Most of the time they're going to be pregnant after that, but occasionally just it doesn't work for whatever reason or another. There's way too many things that could be going on for me to try to troubleshoot. Just try again. That's what I'm going to do with mine that didn't give birth. Same issue. Allie Mae says, sorry, I've been missing in action. Just had our 4th and last child. Well, congratulations. Finally getting back to YouTube. Glad to see you're still doing your thing. Well, hey, thanks for coming back and joining. I saw your channel come up in my feed the other day, and I was like, oh, I remember Allie Mae's channel. I didn't actually watch any videos, no offense. I just didn't have time at the time to go watch them. But I saw it come up and was thinking about you guys. Well, congratulations on your 4th child. I can't imagine 4 kids. It's a lot of work. I admire you for that. Franklin says dove is a subspecies of pigeon. Yeah, I kind of figured they were. I wasn't sure of that, though. Walt Lars says, I wouldn't eat a city pigeon because of the disease risk. I'm not sure would there be any higher risk of them getting disease in the city. There might be, I guess. Probably good advice. Michael Richards says, hi, Chris. Just got here, and now the time is finished. Next time, won't miss it. Happy New Year, everyone. Well, happy New Year to you too. Sorry, I can't just stay on all night long. I do have to close this out. I've got a family. I've got to get to bed, so I got to go, get up in the morning and go to work in the morning. So I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty quick. Andrew Backhawk says, it was nice listening again. Thanks for all the great advice and videos. Have a blessed night. Thank you so much, you too. One more question from Rabbit Scheme here. I have a question. Do first-time moms already know to build nests and pull fur? Usually they do, but your first-time moms, you may get a failed litter out of it. They're not always great about just being right on top of it. If that happens, don't stress about it. It's common with first-time moms. Give her another shot. She's probably going to do fine the next time. Yeah, you're building a workforce there, 6-count family, 4 kids. Make them help with all the chores and get ready for the rabbits. So I got to get off here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm getting wrapped up in the chat, and I can't stop. We've gone just a little bit over an hour. My wife is home from work now. I need to get off, go spend some time with the family. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thanks for joining in. And you're going to have to come back and leave any additional questions in the comments under the video once it posts. Have a great night, everybody. Happy New Year to all of you. And as always, God bless each and every one of you. Talk to you guys next week.